So the hot chocolate, so 18 out of 180 people, that's the fraction of people who got hot chocolates, multiplied by, are you alright? Yeah, that's fine. Will it work for all of them? Yes, it will. Yeah, it will. So, but this is just in case it's not as convenient as that. Okay? That's how you do it. Is that right? So I don't need to do it so. You were the one who asked me to do it, was it? Sorry? Part 3 is to draw it. Okay? So, right, okay, my equipment won't work on my plastic board. So, okay, you just draw a circle, you mark the centre, so with your compass you draw a circle. You draw one line, okay? And then you get your protractor, okay? And the first angle was, what was it? 108 or something, was it? Yeah. So you're starting here and you're going all the way around to 108. Now it's hard to be accurate, right? Okay, but be as accurate as you can, right? 108, you know. So just put a mark and then you draw it. Okay. The next angle was 54. So turn your page around like that, right? And here we go. The line is there, so that's 0. So 0 is on the inside, so around to 54. Okay, put a little mark, remove it, and draw your line. Okay, and then turn your page again, right? And now you're starting here, and the next one was whatever it was, and so on. Is that okay? Sorry, does the circle have to be? No, it can be any size. Don't make it too small because it gets fiddly, right? And don't make it too big because it'll just take up too much room. So, a medium-sized circle, but any size. Yes. 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 Will you need a protractor in your test? No. That doesn't mean there isn't a pie chart. It just means you don't have to draw a pie chart. Okay? Is that alright? Okay. So, is that okay for number 7? Right. Was there any other question on that sheet that anyone wants me to do? Yes. 8 the last time. You didn't have 8. Okay, done yet, but I'll do it anyway. So number 8 is the what you call these? Stem leaf diagram. Okay, so I'll just blow it up here. Right, okay. Write one sentence about the scoring pattern of the sparks. Okay, so the sparks are the ones on the left. Okay, so the scoring patterns, right, so we will, you refer to their range. Okay, so 122 take away 73. So scoring pattern, I would say they don't seem consistent, right? Okay, whereas, you know, the dragons kind of got 90s and 100s mostly, whereas the sparks range from 73 right up to 122. So I would say the sparks scoring pattern is not consistent. That's what I would say. It's quite spread out. Okay, so they're not consistent. The more spread out, the less consistent they are. That's what I'd say. Is that right? Okay. Any other questions? Yes. 5 part, the last part, right? So here we have a stem leaf diagram again for number 5. Neil records the number of emails he receives every day for 35 days, so there we are. Using these 35 days as a sample, what is the probability that on the next day Neil receives more than 40 emails? So how many emails on that list are more than 40? 7, yeah. So it's 7 out of 35. That's your answer. Sorry? Say? Oh, sorry. Apologies. So it's 7 out of 28. Apologies. Sorry, I thought it was 35. Okay? So, yeah, sure, whatever. Okay? 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. 1, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. There's 35 emails there. Yeah, so it's 7 out of 35. Okay? Is that alright? Yes.
Do you do number 6?
Number 6I, draw the stem leaf diagram for that, okay? So for a stem leaf diagram, you write the list in order first, okay? So you'd start with the smallest, so I'd say 2.5. I won't write them all out now, okay, because I'll be here forever, okay? So I'll just throw in a few, so 2.5, then I'll probably go 3.0, sorry, there's a 2.8, 2.8, 3.0, 3.1, 3.7, 3.7, I'll skip a few, 4.5, 5.0, okay, 5.2, is that right? Okay, so I skipped a few, okay, and I made up some as well because I don't think there's, oh, there is a 5.0. Stem leaf, okay, so for the stem, the lowest is 2 point something, and the highest is 5 point something, so I have to go 2, 3, 4, and 5. Is that okay? So when the list is written in order, your stem leaf diagram automatically comes in order. Okay, if you don't put it in order, you lose marks. So the stem leaf diagram has to be in order. So there's a 2.5 and a 2.8. There's a 3.0 and a 3.1 and two 3.7s. Note that you're keeping the leaves under each other. Okay, 4.5 and 5.0. Okay, and so on. You put in the rest of them. Okay, you need to put in a key, because on some stem leaf diagrams 4-5 means 45, doesn't it? So I have to explain that 4 line 5 here means 4.5. Is that alright? Okay, because on some stem leaf diagrams we've seen where it equals 45, haven't we? So the key is really important. Okay, is that alright? Is that your question? Yeah. Okay, anything else for me? No? Right, okay. Are we sure? Right. What will we revise next? Will we revise something else next? We will, I'd say. Will we? Yeah. Okay, so how am I going? As in, we've done algebra, we've done factors, we've done sets, haven't we? Right, okay. We did statistics 1, 2, and 3. That's what that sheet was. Okay. What's left? Area and volume we just did recently. Probability. Quadratic equations. Did we do the minus b formula? Did we revise the minus b formula? No, we're going to jump into that, so because that's really important. Say that again? Right, okay. Do you want to give it to me afterwards, and I'll give you a lot of tables. Is that alright? Okay. 350, sorry. Okay, quadratic equations, okay? So quadratic equations, we've already reminded ourselves how to factorize them. Now we're going to take it one step further and go solve. Okay? So if I had something like let's see, x squared minus 5x minus 14. So x squared minus 5x minus 14 equals 0. Now we wouldn't have had the equal 0 before, and it would have said factorize, but now I'm saying solve. Okay, so now I'm saying solve. Is that okay? Right. So the step 1 is factorize. Okay, so step 1 is factorize. So you look for the factors of 14 that subtract to give me 5. So factors of 14 that subtract to give me 5. So I can have 1 by 14, that's no, because they subtract to give me 13. I can have 2 by 7, and that's a yes, isn't it? Because 7 take away 2 is 5. Agreed? So you split that 5x into a 2x and a 7x. When we're subtracting them, we want to give them different signs. So to subtract, they get different signs. So one gets a minus, one gets a plus. You need to say, I want to end up with minus 5x. So which one will I give the minus to and which one will I give the plus to? Plus 2x minus 7x will give me minus 5x, won't it? So then I have an x squared at the front and a minus 14 at the end. I pair off the first two and take out an x. So x into x plus 2. What I take out of the second two? Minus 7. I'm taking out the minus, so what's left? X plus 2 again. Right, and then you make the first bracket from x minus 7, and you make the second bracket from x plus 2, right, equals 0. Now, if I was factorizing, I'd be done. But they said solve. Can anyone remember what the extra step is for solve? You let each bracket equal 0. So the first bracket is x minus 7. You let that equal 0. And the second bracket is x plus 2. And you let that equal 0. Okay? So bring across the minus 7. So x is equal to what? 7. And over here, x is equal to minus 2. So that x up there either stands for a 7 or it stands for a minus 2. That's it. Right? I'll do another one. Okay. Yeah. Chapter 15.
And it's the whole chapter 15 just so
Yeah, the whole chapter 15. Wait until I see. I just need to. Yeah, the whole chapter 15. Right, okay. So another one of these might be, I'll get a number, 2x squared plus 5x plus 2. Okay, and the question is to solve now. Okay, so the question is to solve, right? Okay, so step 1 is factorize. So there's a number in front of the x squared, so I'm not looking for the factors of 2. What am I looking for? The factors of 4. I'm looking for the factors of 4 that add to give me 5. So I want the factors of 4 to add to give me 5. So I can have 1 by 4 or I can have 2 by 2. Which ones am I using? 1 and 4 because they add to give me 5. Is that alright? So I'm splitting that 5x into a 1x and a 4x. And when I'm adding, I'm giving them the same signs. So they're both going to be plus plus or minus minus. Which are they? Plus plus, because that's a plus. So plus 1x plus 4x will give me plus 5x, won't it? Okay, then I have a 2x squared at the front, and I have a plus 2 at the end. What's common out of the first two? X. What's left? 2x plus 1. Isn't that right? What's common out of the second two? 2. What's left? 2x plus 1 again. My brackets are the same, which is what I wanted to happen. So my first bracket is x plus 2, and my second bracket is 2x plus 1. Now, if I was factorizing, I'd be done, but they said solve. So now what do I do solving? Extra step. X plus 2 equals 0 is one bracket. And what's the other bracket? 2x plus 1 equals 0. So here I'll get what? X equals minus 2. Here I'll get 2x is equal to minus 1. Then I divide each side by 2. And I get x is equal to minus a half. Is that alright? Okay? Do you remember these? Because you don't look like people that remember these. You look like people that are just stunned silence. Ella?
So if one of them isn't just like a simple, the answer is right there, both of them end up with a minus.
Sorry?
So if like one of the brackets you have to work out,
Yeah?
both of them end up with a minus.
No, not necessarily. It's whatever signs you have here that decides.
Why minus?
Because when you bring the plus 2 over the wall, it becomes a minus 2. When you bring the plus 1 over the wall, it becomes a minus 1. Okay, so it's nothing got to do with how complicated the brackets is, it's the signs that decide. Okay, yes, yeah. Will I do another one? Okay, so if I have 4x squared minus 12x plus 5 equals 0. And again, the question is solve. This time, what am I looking for? What am I looking for? The factors of what? 20. Where the hell did I get the 20? 4 by 5. When there's a number in front here, 4 5s are 20. So I'm looking for the factors of 20, and you look at the last sign, that add to give me 12. So I want the factors of 20 to add to give me 12. Don't worry about the minus for a minute. Okay, so you look for the factors of 20 that add to give me 12. So I can have 1 by 20. I can have 2 by 10. Or I can have 4 by 5. Which factors am I going to use? 2 by 10. Why? Because they add to give you 12. So you split that 2x or 12x into a 2x and a 10x. If I'm adding them, what does that mean? Adding means I'm going to give them the same sign. Over here tells me I'm going to give them a minus and a minus, because minus 2x minus 10x is minus 12x. So I have 4x squared here, and I have a plus 5 at the end. Out of the first two, what will I take out? 2x. What's left? 2x minus 1. Here, what will I take out? Minus 5. What's left? 2x minus 1. Why did that change to a minus? Because I took out a minus. Okay? So both, what's your first bracket? 2x minus 5, and your second bracket is 2x minus 1. Okay, so to solve then you let each bracket equal 0. So 2x minus 5 equals 0, and 2x minus 1 equals 0. So then to solve these, x is on one side, numbers on the other. So leave the 2x. Bring over the minus 5. What happens to it? Plus 5. What I do now? Divide each side by 2. And you get x is equal to 5 over 2, 2.5, 2.5, whatever way you want to write it. Okay? This one here, leave the x. When you bring over the minus 1, what happens to it? Plus 1. What I do now? Divide each side by 2. And you get x is equal to 1/2. Is that alright? Yes.
Is 5 over 2 equals 2.5?
Yeah, I said that. Just said that.
Oh,
2.5, 2.5. You can leave it as a top heavy fraction. You can write it as a decimal. You can write it as a mixed fraction, whatever you want. Okay? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we good? Right. Okay. Same type of ones, but we have to factorize differently. So what if I had 3x squared minus 6x equals 0? Okay, actually I'm changing that. I want x squared minus 6x equals 0. Okay, now this isn't, how do I factorize these? How do I factorize this, please? Take out what's common, right? What's common? What's left? X minus 6. If the question was to factorize, I'm done. But if the question was to solve. So can anyone remember this one? The first bracket is just x on its own, isn't it? So it's the same as the last time, except this is the first bracket, the x on its own. So one answer is x is 0. How'll I get the second answer? X minus 6 equals 0. So that means x equals plus 6. So there, I still get two answers, okay, but one of them happens to be 0, right? So if you're missing the number, you can't get factors of it, so you just take out what's common. Yes?
Do both sides have to be either positive?
No, it's whatever, they could be, one could be a plus, one could be a minus. which is the way it was in the first example, right? It depends on what the signs say in the sum, okay? So they don't have to be the same, they can be different, or they can be the same. They can be both pluses, both minuses, one a plus, one a minus. It's however it goes with the sum, okay? Will I do one more of that one, type 1? Okay, so I'll go 3x squared minus 7x equals 0. Right, what I do, take out a x. So what's left? 3x minus 7 equals 0. How'll I get the first answer? X equals 0. How'll I get the other answer? 3x minus 7 equals 0. X is on one side, numbers on the other, so leave the 3x. Bring it over the minus 7, it becomes a plus 7. Then divide each side by 3, and you get x is equal to 7 over 3. Is that okay? Right. Third type of one, we're still on solving. We're still on these type of ones where you let each bracket equal 0. What if I had 4x squared minus 49 equals 0? How do I factorize that? Difference of two squares, isn't it? So what squared give me 4x squared? 2x. So it's 2x all to be squared. What squared will give me 49? 7 all to be squared. Two sets of brackets. 2x and 2x. A 7 and a 7 and a plus and a minus. How do I solve? Each bracket equals 0. So 2x plus 7 equals 0. 2x minus 7 equals 0. Right? So finish this off. What will I have? 2x is equal to minus 7. What do I do now? Divide by 2. And you get x is equal to minus 7 over 2. Here you get 2x is equal to plus 7 when it comes over. Divide each side by 2. And x is equal to plus 7 over 2. Is that right? Okay, and if you want to change that to 3.5, knock yourself out. Right? Okay? Are we okay? So what's the extra step in solving? You have to let each bracket equal 0. So you factorize first. How do you factorize? You take out what's common. You group the terms. Right? You do quadratic. Or it's the difference of two squares. Same as the previous chapter. Okay? And you end up with two sets of brackets and you let each bracket equal 0. And then it's a case of x's on one side, numbers on the other. And once you come over the wall, change the sign. Are we good? Right, how am I doing for time? Because I don't know by looking at you. I can't gauge whether you're bored or actually really confused. Yeah, I can't gauge you. I can't tell. Right, okay. So I think the lack of response is either boredom or confusion. Right. So I'm going to assume it's boredom until you tell me different. Right, that involves you speaking. Right, okay, so next section. Right, okay, sometimes girls, if I had x squared plus 4x plus 2 equals 0. Right, okay, so what am I looking for with this one? What would you be looking for? You'd be looking for the factors of 2 that add to give me 4. Would you agree? Is there any? No. Right, okay. Sometimes, girls, it's not possible, right, to get the factors that add to give, because the story is they're big long decimals, okay? So they're big long decimals, okay? That's your answers are big long decimals. It's sure how are you supposed to come up with big long decimals, right? Okay, when that is the case, girls, they will say solve. And then they'll say correct to 2 places of decimals. Okay, so it says solve correct to 2 places of decimals. Okay, so that means you're not going to be able to find the factors. Okay, so in that case you have to use the quadratic formula, which is, remember I said it was in your log tables, but it's on page 20 of your log tables, but you don't have to open your log tables because it's written on the front cover. Do you remember this? Do you remember me talking about that? That formula there in yellow? Yes? Yeah, you need to bring your log tables because your area formulas are in it and the minus b formula is in it. Okay? So bring your log tables to your exam. Yeah? So come with your calculator, your log tables and your brain. Okay? You don't need paper because there'll be gaps and there's be space on the paper. So what you need is log tables, calculator and brain and something to write with. Okay? Right, so the formula is minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2 times a. And as I say, you don't have to learn it, it's in the log tables. All you have to do is learn how to fill it out. Right? Do you remember it? No? Right, okay. A is the number in front of x squared. You're just filling in numbers for a, b and c. So you wouldn't be filling in any x's. If you end up with x's in this formula, you're going to drive yourself crazy. Just numbers. A is the number in front of x squared. What number is in front of x squared? 1. B is the number in front of x. What number is in front of x?
4.
And C is the number on its own. So A is 1, B is 4, and C is 2. So I'm just filling in numbers for these letters. Okay? So it is minus. There's a minus sign. Then there's B, which is 4. Then I have a plus minus. The square root of b to be squared is 4 to be squared. 4ac means 4 multiplied by a, which is 1, multiplied by c, which is 2. So I put brackets for the multiply. Is that alright? And that's all over 2 times a. Now you go from here to your calculator, okay, and you type. Now you can't put a plus minus, so there's 2 answers. So one's a plus and one's a minus. So we'll put in the plus one first, okay? So on your calculator, first thing you do is you press the fraction button. Then I go minus 4. Then I'm going to do the plus answer first. So plus the square root of open bracket 4 close bracket squared minus 4 open bracket 1 close bracket open bracket 2 close bracket. Okay, and underneath I have 2 times 1, so 2 bracket 1 close bracket and equals. Now it'll give you your answer in third form. Third is a square root, so it says in decimal places. So how will I turn that to a decimal place? S to D, right? Okay, so you press. Oh no, no. No, it's gone now. Okay, you press S to D. Thank you. Brilliant. Right. Oh, I'm after knocking yours off as well. Right. Okay, girls. I'm going to give you a couple of these to try tonight. Okay. So I'm on chapter 15. So I've 15.1. And this is section 15.2. So I want you to do questions from 15.1 and 15.2 and come back to me with problems Thursday. I don't see you tomorrow. We're running out of time, so make sure you do the revision.